For years, Diablo has ruled as the king of ARPGs. Ever since their first release back in 1997, followed by one of the best games ever created, Diablo 2, Blizzard has cultivated a fanbase so dedicated to Diablo that some would even claim it to be, well, a cult. Wakanda forever! However, following the slow decline of the IP after the shaky release of Diablo 4 in 2023, their once unwavering throne is under attack for the first time in many years, by none other than Path of Exile.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground! You underestimate my power! Don't try it!
Well, more specifically, Path of Exile 2. Everyone from streamers to Steam reviewers to even the before you buy guy absolutely love Path of Exile 2.
Path of Exile 2 so far in my experience is really good.
But for you to really grasp why it's going to take the crown from Diablo, we gotta start from the top. Path of Exile 2 is a surprising sequel to Path of Exile. I mean, with titles like that, I almost didn't even know the two games were related. Who would have guessed?
Who would have thought? Not me.
The original Path of Exile was released in 2013 by a company known as Grinding Gear Games. At release, it was being pitched as a fresh alternative to the then troubled Diablo 3. It quickly began amassing an extremely dedicated fanbase. However, even with Diablo struggling at the time, it could never fully break out from the shadow of what was known as the king of ARPGs. That was until 2019, when Path of Exile 2 was officially announced. But the reason it began to shine light on Diablo's shadow isn't for the reason you'd expect. Now, don't get me wrong, the announcement was beautiful.
How's this, Squidward?
It's beautiful!
Grinding Games announced a brand new 7-act story that would run parallel to that of the first game. On top of the story, they also announced that the game would launch with 19 new Ascendancy classes. For those of you that only play Battle Royales and never ventured anything else, 19 new classes is a crazy amount.
Fuck you, whore! We like Fortnite! We like Fortnite!
They were adding that on top of the already existing classes that they had, meaning the developers were adding skill trees, passives, abilities, and everything else that goes into the 19 new possible playstyles. This was enough new content alone to leave those dedicated players in tears.
Oh my god.
Anyways, the real reason the shadow began to fade was because only just a few months before Path of Exile 2 was announced, Blizzard announced their newest title, Diablo 4. Soon after the announcement, questions quickly began to rise. Why announce now? Why make a second game? Are they worried about Diablo 4's release? With the most important question being, which is going to be better? And oh, did we learn the answer to that. Now, let's be honest. On release, Diablo 4 was an absolute mess. From technical issues, to constant server problems, to crazy balance issues with classes. Shout out all you PvP sweats. You're all a bunch of weirdos. With the most common and important criticisms being lack of endgame content and of course, the new live service model. The worst part about all of it was that Blizzard refused to listen to the community about anything. No, literally anything. The community would complain about things and explain why they're bad, then they just receive some ChatGPT written message talking about some, I'll pass this along to the team. They wouldn't listen to a single thing. Starting with endgame content, well, the lack of it anyway. Endgame content was one of the major things that kept Diablo on the top for years. However, this is exactly where Diablo 4 fell flat. Quickly after release, players began to realize that Diablo 4's endgame content was extremely lacking in both variety and just overall repetitive. I mean, I beat Diablo 4 and started playing the endgame content, and from my experience, the only real content it had to offer was replaying the game on a harder difficulty and running through dungeons to get better gear. I think just about everyone will agree with me when I say that that is extremely boring.
Boring!
However, what was even more annoying than how bad the in-game content is was their new live service model.
That shit look like the battle pass.
It genuinely doesn't matter what game you play in today's world. It could be a battle royale, a first-person shooter, or even some random mobile game. Every single game now has a battle pass, and Diablo 4 was no exception. From the moment you loaded in, you were greeted with a shop and a full battle pass to purchase and complete. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't inherently have anything against the battle pass system, but something about Diablo just seemed off, and the more I played, the more I felt it. The monetization strategy they had for Diablo 4 seemed to overshadow the entire design of the game, making it feel like more of a transaction than an adventure. You were constantly met with new skins to buy and a full battle pass to purchase, if you hadn't already. The relentless push for microtransactions felt as if the game had just lost its soul, if I'm being honest. It didn't have the same love and passion that you could feel in every other Diablo game. Quick sidebar, I also have a personal beef with Diablo 4. When the game first came out, it was in Season 0, meaning that they hadn't started their first season yet. Usually this wouldn't matter, but for some reason the geniuses over at Blizzard decided the seasonal content character and the non-seasonal content character had to be separate, meaning that if you made a character and played it before Season 1 came out, you weren't able to use that same character for seasonal content once it came out. You had to make an entire new character and completely restart. So yeah, whatever moron decided that, you're a fucking idiot. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Now, unlike Diablo 4, Path of Exile 2 has been nothing short of extraordinary. And for those of you that don't agree with me, you're extraordinary too, just in a different way.
This extraordinary creature is half blind, half deaf.
While Diablo 4 fell short in new gameplay content, Path of Exile 2 took it in strides. On top of the 19 new ascendancy classes, they also have an expanded skill tree. No, like, this skill tree is insanely overwhelming. Look how big it is. And a new gem system for skills. Of course, those of you that are Diablo glazers are probably saying something like, there aren't even 19 new classes yet, so it doesn't count. First off, stop sucking off Blizzard so hard. Second, you are correct. However, there are already 12 of them in the game, and it's only been in early access for a little over a month, so calm down. Anyways, another one of the most notable gameplay features that propels Path of Exile 2 ahead of Diablo is their new gem skill system. While most games like this usually have some sort of gem system they use to make the skill stronger, grinding games brought the boom and took that concept to a whole new level.
Oh, we're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. He gets 5 big booms.
This new system was a complete upgrade. It made altering your classes and changing how you played the game so much easier and diverse than any RPG has ever done. On top of just new game mechanics, believe it or not, Path of Exile 2 also already has actual endgame content. Yeah, I know, shocking. Path of Exile's endgame is mostly consistent of what is known as the Atlas of Worlds. The Atlas of Worlds is a vast map filled with different regions and challenges. Each region has its own set of maps, which are essentially randomly generated dungeons filled with monsters and loot. Well, at least that is what this random article on the internet said. I'm not actually there yet, so don't hate me, but everything I see online says it's really fun. As you progress, you'll unlock different tier maps to make the enemies harder and the loot sweeter. You'll do all of these tiers to help refine your build to make sure you're all geared up for the pinnacle bosses. These bosses are some of, if not the hardest content in the game. These 7 bosses stand to test the most dedicated of players to see if they really have what it takes to beat everything that Path of Exile 2 has to offer. Now, imagine if Blizzard actually took the time to create some intricate endgame system like this. No, actually, I can't imagine it, so I'm going to need you to try for me. The monetization strategy in Path of Exile 2 is honestly sort of like Diablo 4's, but just done way better. For starters, on release, Path of Exile 2 will be free to play, unlike Diablo 4 that comes with a $70 price tag. While yes, the game currently is $30, it's still in early access. Also, even when you buy the game, they give you $30 worth of in-game currency, so it's still kind of a free game. Both games use their in-game currency in the same fashion, use it to buy things like cosmetics and such. The main difference is the aggressive push for microtransactions that Blizzard forces on you.
Hello, I like money.
Unlike Diablo 4's push of microtransactions, grinding games has been transparent about their monetization. They clearly outline what players can expect and ensure that they will maintain low prices for anyone that is interested in buying any currency. This is something that Blizzard can do so easily, they just blatantly choose not to. While Path of Exile is building trust and loyalty with the community, Blizzard is just trying to take us for everything we're worth.
We've got to have money.
Looking into the future, it's pretty clear that Path of Exile 2 and Diablo 4 are standing as the 2 pinnacles of the genre. However, the path the genre decides to follow could bring about the falling of ARPGs. See what I did there? Path? Yeah, you saw it. If it decides to follow Path of Exile 2, then it could lead to more games like it that focus entirely on things like gameplay mechanics, innovative systems, and just a genuinely good game overall. However, if it decides to follow Diablo, it could just mean aggressive monetization strategies and microtransactions that could quickly lead the genre to being nothing more than just a simple cash grab. I mean, if you look at Path of Exile 2, it's already delivered on an insane amount of promises they made before the game was even released in early access. Yet, even when Diablo was in full release, it was met with nothing but disappointment from fans. For me, it's pretty clear to see which one developers should follow. In the battle for the throne between Path of Exile 2 and Diablo 4, Path of Exile 2 has proven that it's not just ready to take the throne, but it's already sitting comfortably at the top. Putting the 2 games next to each other shows that they are incomparable. Path of Exile 2 opened with countless new and upgraded gameplay systems and mechanics, while Diablo 4 did nothing but disappoint us at every turn. Ultimately, players want games that both challenge and reward them, whilst respecting the time and effort they put into playing it, all things that Diablo 4 fell short on. Path of Exile 2 rose to the occasion and surprised players with an immersive and complete game that was actually fun. This just shows that the crown at the top of ARPGs is clearly ready for the taking, and Path of Exile 2 is ready to be king. Hey guys, just wanted to say thank you for tuning into the video. Also, some updates on the channel. The new year just started, and one of my New Year's resolutions is to be more active in both the community tab and just uploading as a whole. So starting this month, I'm going to be uploading at least 2 videos a month. Well, that's the goal anyway. So keep an eye out for more videos, and if you like the videos, go ahead, drop a sub. It means the absolute world to me. But thank you. Peace.